Hey, what up, y'all? This is ASTRODIM, laying in my bed, rolling in it, getting comfy or whatever. As you know, it's my bed and astrology. Hey, what's up, y'all? This is ASTRODIM'S, laying in my bed, because you know, it's my bed and astrology. Oh. Hi y'all, what's up? In a silly mood today, but why not? This is new moon energy popping off or whatever. And I know I usually do my new moon readings 3 days before the new moon, but I couldn't. My energy honestly this month was very like Four of Wands. Let me know if you guys been feeling that, but I was super duper exhausted from this eclipse energy, and like even in general readings, if you kind of look into Capricorn energy, it would say like you need to rest, you need to relax, you need to rest and relax. I thought I was resting and relaxing. I guess I wasn't doing enough resting and relaxing in God's eyes, and so He just literally sucked all the energy from me, all of it. So it's been really hard, like working through readings. And just balancing my home life, handling those responsibilities, and all of that. Like, there's so many appointments and so many things to do. And so it was wild, but, I basically did the necessities, and then God was like, all right, sit down. And so it was just a really interesting time. So I apologize for that, y'all. I'll try to be more on it. It's hard when you have a Cancer in the 6th house and an 11th house stellium to be on time and to get things together. But you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to fucking do it. And you have to think about it too. That means my eclipse was in my 6th and my 12th house. So there's another thing too. So try to be patient with me, please. Y'all are for the most part. But, kind of getting this information out to you guys can prove to be a bit challenging, okay? All right, so let's talk about this new moon energy, which I'm super duper excited about because, you have this new moon energy happening, and then like right afterwards, Mercury is going to be direct. So like, it's literally just party time on to be truthful, and I've been telling people for months, maybe not months, but for weeks, multiple weeks, that hot girl summer's not going to start until August. And it's funny because I've seen a couple of astrologers say the same thing. I actually was telling my friend this in June, and then I saw another astrologer say it, and I sent her a tweet like, see, I told you. And then she saw another tweet too. So it's interesting, like, it really, hot girl summer ain't starting until August for real. And this is going to be the indicator, this new moon energy. So it's kind of igniting hot girl summer, to be honest. So even if you felt like you've had a hot girl summer so far, it's going to be even more dope. Trust me. Okay? All right. So this new moon energy is happening July 31st, 2019 at 11:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm in the East Coast of the United States, so it starts at 11:11 then, which is a huge indicator for us that this is going to truly be a new beginning for self-expression. It's going to be especially so for people who are on the East Coast or in the Eastern Standard Time area. For those folks, but also for folks in which this new moon is going to be happening at 11:11 a.m. as well. I don't know which time zone is included in that, but y'all are going to really, like, for us too, it's going to really be a new beginning, like, for real. But all over the world is going to be a new beginning for most people when it comes to this form of self-expression and romance and dating and creativity and identity and stuff like that, because of the first 11. So even if you're in Central Time and the new moon's happen at 10:11, you still got that 11 energy, that dual energy. You know what I mean? And so it kind of wants you to switch, either find that balance of your duality or switch from that one person to the next person, similar to that Gemini energy. It's time for you to be your fun self now. You know what I mean? There's a couple of people who, time zones, that's like not only hours difference, but it's an hours and 30 minutes difference. So these people will have a new beginning as well, because it's just how the collective is moving together. But it may not be as like poignant or as strong as the other, like the rest of the world, honestly, to be honest. So I think it may have been like a time zone kind of near India might be involved in that time zone, and which is like hours difference, but also like a 30-minute difference too. So it's really interesting. But anyways, like I was saying, this new moon's happening July 31st, 2019 at 11:11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be happening at 8 degrees and 37 minutes of Leo. Okay? Very interesting that 8 is showing up. You know, what's really interesting is that, like, I've been tracking the degrees in which these new moons have been starting. And so it went from 6 degrees to, for a long time, it derived into 5 degrees. It either was in the 5th degree or it derived to 5. And then the 2 months before, not last month, but the 2 months before, it was at 3. And then the last, it was at 1. And then now it's at 8. Okay, so definitely this eclipse being the past eclipse that happened in Cancer, with the degree deriving to 1, you know, it's definitely a new beginning. The 8 is such a solid number. It's so connected to like foundation and knowing where you're at. But it's kind of like the beginning of the end. Not even beginning of the end, but the end. Not the end of the beginning, but like, is it beginning of the end? Not the beginning of the end, but it's like the transformative part of you kind of solidifying what's going to happen next. That's probably the best way, is you solidifying, like putting things together, so when the transformation happens, it's like solid. You know what I mean? So that's how I kind of feel that energy of 8 is. And if you kind of, let's go through the cards, the tarot cards with 8, because I love using the numerology of the tarot for 8. You know, you could definitely look at other numerology when it's connected to 8. You know, I know that's connected to money. So, you know, especially because this is Leo energy, you know, you can literally make money off of your creativity, your talents, yourself, right? Possibly even make money with romance. But you know, it's also connected to like foundation and working hard and power and leadership, right? And again, you can use this Leo energy to obtain that. But let's look at the 8 and how it connects with tarot, because you know I'm an astro tarot person. So the first one, right? Let's look at 8 of what should we start with? Let's do 8 of Wands first, right? And with the 8 of Wands, that is speaking of energy coming at you fast, right? A whole bunch of ideas, a whole bunch of creativity, a whole bunch of energy just coming at you fast, right? And this is somewhat connected to Leo in the sense of that the Wands is connected to fire energy. And so you may notice that this creative energy, this self-awareness of your identity, these talents and opportunities for your talents to be expressed, romance, dating, suitors, all of that, fun, opportunities to enjoy yourself is coming at you fast. So, you know, that could be connected to that too. If we do 8 of Swords, you know, 8 of Swords is, you know, I believe 8 of Swords is the one. See, I'm forgetting. With a lot of swords and you're blindfolded and you kind of just are stuck in a thought, right? And so with that energy, you know, you definitely have to instead of the ideas coming at you fast, your thoughts are coming at you fast. You're having a lot of responsibility. You're juggling a lot of things. And that's kind of coming at you fast in the sense of like, you don't know which idea to choose, and you feel blinded from your thoughts. You get what I'm saying? But these thoughts are solidified, because even if you look at the Eight of Swords card, right, the swords are like solidified in the ground. They're surrounding you. There's somewhat even trying to protect you, because you think of the Seven of Swords, it's you kind of being it's you being deceived. And so this is kind of like what happens after you've been deceived. How do you feel after that deception? And you trying to figure out, how can I move on from there? And so it kind of gives me that idea too, of that whole being solidified within your within that energy, and trying to finally, the situation here is making that decision, finally picking up a decision and like going with it. You know what I mean? And even with like the Eight of Wands type of energy too, yes, things are coming at you fast, but it's so you can pick up a wand and kind of like look at relay race and go with it. So that's, again, that whole solidifying energy is strong for sure. Next is the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles, I always see it as the work smart, while the Seven of Pentacles is the work hard type of energy. And so it's kind of like you've been advanced, you know your worth, you know you're good, you're the master now, and because you know how to work smart. That's what it's just, again, so that, again, that whole solidifying the foundation vibe is strong. And then lastly, the Eight of Cups is someone moving away, and it's a sad goodbye, but you're moving away because that's what's best for you. And again, it's that similar energy that I was describing before of you. It's a transformation, and you gotta, sometimes you gotta make decisions with a transformation that are tough, but it's going to be eventually good for you, and it's going to help, your next move or your next step in life, and help solidify that. So you see how that whole like foundation solidifying, things coming at you fast, you have to make a decision, you have to pick something and just go with it. That's the type of energy that's really kind of showing out in this situation for sure. So you guys definitely have to keep that in mind, okay? Now, let's talk about what the new moon means. So I always do this. I know if you're a listener, you're probably like, yes, we already know what the new moon means. Well, I have new listeners, y'all. And so you never know. Like, some people may not know what the new moon means. So let's break it down. So astronomically, it's when the sun and the moon is pretty much at the same spot. So much that the moon is kind of like blinded and it's like dark. So we can't see it. You know what I mean? But it's when the sun and the moon is literally in the same spot. Now, when it actually crosses each other, that's a solar eclipse. But for the most part, what the sun and moon's doing is it's like at the same spot, but one's higher than the other. So that's typically what happens there. Now, what does it mean astrologically? Well, the sun is connected to Leo, right? So this is a special new moon for sure. But the sun represents your identity, your self-expression, your dating life, your romantic life, your talents, your creativity, and things like that. It's definitely self-expression, how you react to things, how you express yourself, like straight up, how you react to things. While the moon is the opposite, is how you react to things internally, how you feel, more first instinct than you thinking before you acting. Thinking before you acting is very much sun, and even I would say rising type of energy. The first reaction to things without you thinking it through is very moon, because it's based off of emotion. So it's your internal emotions, how you feel, and things that you don't speak on unless you feel comfortable, or you're with your family, or you're in your private life or whatever. So the moon is definitely your emotions, while the sun is your true self-expression after you've kind of worked through your emotions and figure out, okay, how should I express myself even though I feel this way? You get what I'm saying? And so when these two energies meet, right, it's showing that we are expressing ourselves how we are feeling. So it's pretty cool. Like we our feelings and our reaction are in a great understanding. We are reacting to how we feel. We kind of feel like open to express ourselves. Now with this Leo energy, this Leo new moon, we are really going to be showing our ass, but it doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. It's actually a good thing, because people are going to be aware of how we feel during this season. And we're going to fully be able to express ourselves. You might even notice more creative work is happening here. So not necessarily more albums and music is coming out at this time, but maybe like a lot of artists are creating at this time because they have an understanding of how they're feeling and they're expressing it appropriately. You get what I'm saying? Through their talents, their creativity. You may feel that people are more romantic at this time. You may feel that people are into dating and casual sex at this time. People are just reacting to how they feel. Now, this is why it's so connected to Hot Girl Summer, because Hot Girl Summer represents that exactly. Hot girl, hot boy summer. You doing what you want because you want to do it, because you feel like expressing yourself that way, because you identify with something. You're just going with it, being you. You know what I mean? And so this is a great season to start that. Now, that definitely could have been started, this Hot Girl Summer, in the first summer, because it's a transition, the first day of the summer, because it's a transition between Gemini and Cancer. Gemini is very logical thinking, but they are very much a free-spirited type of energy, while Cancer is aware of their emotions and what they're going through. And so that's a good time typically to start Hot Girl Summer when you think about it. But with all the eclipse energy happening and the Mercury retrograde energy and stuff, we've been more secluded. We've been more in our shell. We've been more like reflecting on our communication, our everyday life, our routines, what we do on a day-to-day basis, all that shit. We've been more focused on that and really understanding ourselves with these eclipse energies and retrograde energies. But now we're being let open to express ourselves a little bit better. And we're doing it. We're taking full advantage of it. I hope you guys do, because it's a beautiful energy to do that. Okay? All right. So, again, new moon is when the sun and the moon are like right on top of each other or next to each other. Not literally on top. But the sun could be higher than the moon or vice versa, and the moon kind of shows up dark in the sky. But astrologically is when we are reacting to how we're feeling. Like our reactionary selves and our identity is totally matched with our emotions. And so we are all in this vibe of like, okay, let's express ourselves, express our identity, be creative, can connect to our hobbies and our talents, be our childlike self, have that childlike wonder, and just do because you want. That's the mood that we're in. So that's why I really feel like Hot Girl Summer starting with this Leo new moon, for real. Okay, now what does this new moon mean exactly? I kind of already expressed that energy. We're feeling, as a Leo moon, I could really speak on this. Leo moons really want to express themselves, but tend not to, because they kind of have this, first of all, usually Leo moons didn't really have the sort of encouragement to express themselves appropriately, whether through their emotions, their talents, their hobbies, the creativity, how they deal with romance and stuff like that. It may not necessarily been from their parents. It could have been from a teacher, someone in their early childhood, but they feel like they can't express themselves fully. Typically, Leo moons feel that way. And so normally, if it's just a regular Leo moon type of energy, you have all this expression that you want to express, but it's a little bit hard to kind of, you can express it, because Leo moon's going to express themselves regardless, because it's Leo energy, but it's never the full expression of it. Like there's always a little bit more that they're holding back, and it's because of their upbringing. This is the moon energy that we're talking about here, you know what I mean? But with Leo new moons, right, the sun's on top of it, and so it's a whole new world. It's a whole different vibe in which, you know, the sun, which is all about self-expression, right, is connected to Leo. It's telling us, nah, express yourself. And so you have double creative energy just oozing out of you, double expressive energy just oozing out of you. You're feeling it, you're acknowledging it, you're expressing it, when it comes to your romance, dating, identity, anything, and you're just expressing yourself, right? And you got to see where this new moon is at house-wise to see where you're going to be exactly expressing, but you're going to be in that vibe. So it's really, really dope energy. I love it because I'm a Leo moon. I'm definitely more of a self-expressive and creative person, but I do hold back a lot. I do. That's just how I am. And a lot of people learn to get over it, you know what I mean? Especially if you have like supportive energies that push towards it. Like I think I was talking to a fellow astrologer, and I had this theory that, you know, your moon energy is the energy that you hold back because it's kind of connected to your childhood, and he didn't fully agree with it. But of course he wouldn't agree with it because I believe his sun trined his moon. I'm like, well, you typically can express yourself more openly. But the funny thing about it is he did have a moment in his life when he was a kid where he felt like he couldn't express himself, but he actually got out of it. You know what I mean? And so it doesn't mean that you're like doomed with this energy, but it's there. It's going to happen. It's going to be real, but you can get over it, and you can, utilize this new, your Leo moon energy in a different way. You know what I mean? And, for like, kind of like if you see Leo moon or just moon energy in a more neutral way, it's more like you're self-expressive very much in private. You're very self-expressive in private. Doesn't mean you can't be self-expressive in, just generally, but, your private life, your home life is definitely connected with your self-expression for sure. And so, and that kind of applies in different type of moon energies for sure. But anyways, definitely want to just add that there. That was kind of like a little conversation I had with somebody on a social media platform, but whatever, it's cool. Definitely there definitely was an understanding there for sure. Anyways, internally and externally, we are creating new beginnings to let loose and really be our true selves, our true identity, be fully self-expressive in every sense of the word, really having that hot boy, hot girl summer, y'all. Okay? Especially because this new moon is in the first decade of Leo, which is also ruled by the sun. And so we are in our Leo bag this month, y'all. At least these next 2 weeks. But, with new moon energy, the energy kind of slides through for about a month. And so even though that Virgo new moon's going to be happening too, that energy is still going to be spilling over a little bit. And like it's a transitioning for all, you know what I mean? So definitely keep that in mind too, okay? So it's really cool. Like definitely take advantage, especially of these next 2 weeks. You can have that hot girl summer. It can boost it up, and it can be wonderful. Okay? Express yourselves, y'all. For real. Now, let's talk now about the aspects that are happening for this new moon, okay? This new moon, we have about 2 aspects happening here. Interestingly enough, no aspect patterns. There was almost one, but it didn't work out. We almost had a Thor's hammer. It didn't really work out, technically. I always use horoscopeyourself.com to see what the aspect patterns, because they're very stringent. They don't just be passing out aspect patterns to people willy-nilly. They're very stringent on what's an aspect pattern and what's not. And so I like to use them. And so I didn't see any. But if you're a Patreon subscriber, I will be talking about the fixed stars that are conjunct in this energy. And I will be talking to you about how this new moon is going to be affecting you personally, by telling you where the new moon is in your chart and expressing how it is going to be affecting you that way. So if you're interested in being a Patreon subscriber, go to patreon.com/AstroDim and check me out, okay? But let's go ahead and talk about these aspects, all right? So this new moon is aspecting Venus, y'all, date and time, and for it's conjunct Venus, and so, oh my God, this is really pushing this energy of self-worth, which Leo, I always say, the people who really know their self-worth is Taurus risings, Leo risings, and Leo suns. I think there's a big reason why people don't like Leos is because they are aware of their self-worth, and a lot of people are not, and so they don't know how to they don't really have a hard time kind of understanding their boastfulness and their confidence. You get what I'm saying? But with this energy, you know, this Venus has two sides, the introverted side and the extroverted side. So the introverted Venus is very into their self-worth, have very into their self-confidence, have a great self-esteem. The extroverted side of Venus is all about relating with people, connecting with people, and on a one-on-one level, and vibing with people. And so, you know, with this energy conjunct you know, Venus, we're having both. And so again, hot girl summer for real. And Venus is very auspicious as well. And so this is really starting it. Like, okay, this is good energy waving through when you get to you're really being able to relate with people, even have beginnings of relationships. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if people just meet someone, it's a hot fling and turns into something deeper, something, you know, worthwhile. You know what I mean? On a one-on-one level. So I definitely see that vibe coming through for sure. You know, a lot of relationship starters happening here, whether it's romantic or platonic. You have to keep that in mind too. But a great opportunity for you to actually understand your dating life through relationships, through relating with people on a one-on-one level. You know what I mean? Because this, again, Leo moon is definitely connected to romance and dating. And so that, you know, you may learn about that through vibing with other people, but also, even if that's not the case, you may understand your romance and dating life and understand your self-expression through you understanding too your self-confidence and self-esteem and what level it is at this point and what is wrong with that, or what you can do to improve that. Is your self-esteem and confidence a little bit too low? Is it something you need to check? Something you need to figure out? You know what I mean? You have to always think there's two sides of Venus that you always have to account for. All right? And so a lot of people say Venus, oh, relationships. Not necessarily. Venus could definitely be connected to, you know, it definitely could be connected to you really understanding your confidence and finding out, hey, my confidence is blocking my blessings. You know what I mean? Like, my confidence and my self-esteem and me feeling worthy enough is actually blocking my blessings for money, for possessions, for the things that I want materially, for a romance, for just a camaraderie, just for me relating with people and vibing with people. And so this is great energy. And because it's conjunct, like, conjunction is like these energies are seeing each other and understanding each other deeply. And so we're all going to be in this Venusian vibe as a collective, kind of confronting and realizing our confidence and our self-esteem and our worthiness, but at the same time relating with people because of it too. So it's a real dope vibe, man. I love it. It's so dope. This energy, the new moon, is also squaring Uranus, which is really interesting. Now, Uranus and Taurus has been teaching us to accept our uniqueness and our authenticity, accepting the collective as well, and realizing the collective is actually important. Seeing the worthiness of our uniqueness and what makes us different and unconventional, but doing the same for the collective as well. You know what I mean? And like deeming it worthy in the sense of an emotional sense, but also a fiscal and financial sense. You get what I'm saying? And so like seeing, hey, I have this quirk about me. I'm going to build it up and make myself feel better about it. But hey, you know what? I can utilize this to help me get the things that I want out of life, either financially or fiscally, whatever. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of vibe that this energy is in. But the thing is that this new moon energy is, you know, what we're feeling right now and how we're expressing ourselves right now. We're not caring about what's worthy. We're not caring about the, you know, what, you know, I guess not really, we're not caring about our confidence, but we're not caring about worthiness, the possessions and money. We're not doing things for that at this moment. What we're doing things for is out of pure creativity, pure self-expression and identity. And so we're not in that vibe. And so we're literally going a little bit against Uranus right now, which is deeming things worthy. And we're just doing, we're just expressing. We're just totally expressing that identity through creativity, romance, dating, whatever. Which is cool because, you know, what's funny is this new moon energy is conjunct Venus, and so this is going to help our confidence, help our self-esteem, give us money, give us opportunities financially, right? But the thing is, though, is the moon moves fast and the sun moves kind of fast too, and that Venus energy moves a little bit fast itself, and they're going to be separated soon. But you know what? Uranus is still going to be in Taurus. And so we're going, you know, things are going to work out in the beginning, but we're going to notice that is actually not helping our overall goal of finding the worthiness of our uniqueness in unconventional ways. Now, the thing is about that is that we even thinking about Leo, right? Leo energy loves bringing their talents in the forefront, loves expressing themselves, loves doing them, right? But the thing is, though, is that you know, they never show all of themselves. They focus on face values, actually very connected to like Venusian and Libra energy. And the reason for that is because they don't want people to see their vulnerable side. They don't want people to see their weak side. That's why if a Leo is sad, they're just like a lion. They're hiding from the pride. They're hiding from people, and they're like dealing with their emotions on their own. You know what I mean? They don't like expressing their vulnerability like that. And a part of you expressing your vulnerability is realizing the weirdness and the uniqueness in your unconventional ways, and how that's actually why you don't deem it worthy, right? And how you can start deeming it worthy and special and important. You get what I'm saying? And so with all that being said, like this new moon energy is totally against that. Like we're like, no, I'm not worried about money. I'm not even trying to heal myself at this moment. I'm not even trying to focus on my uniqueness. I just want to express myself and I want people to like it, you know, because Leo is always the entertainer. So they're going to express themselves, yes. And it's going to seem like it's a more confident thing. It's going to seem like, you know, you're very into yourself, but, you know, you're not expressing all of yourself. And so it's going against the overall goal. So what I can really see here is that, yes, there'll be some opportunities for you to be able to grow financially and emotionally when it comes to your relationships and romance and confidence and self-esteem and job opportunities. But you may notice, especially because technically this marker of this new moon, Mercury, is still retrograde. You know, the marker of this new moon, Mercury is still retrograde. You know, it's going to look sweet now, but overall and later on, Uranus is still going to be in Taurus. This energy is not going to be happening no more. This new moon energy is not going to be happening no more. And so you have this thing, you know, you're going to realize, like, you know what? I actually have some self-worth issues I need to work on. Why am I not expressing all of myself? Why am I holding certain parts of me back? You know? And so that may happen for sure. And you might be challenged by that while you're having your hot girl summer, and you may ignore it. You know, you're going to be challenged by that, and it's going to cause an inner conflict. And it may even stop you from expressing yourself how you want to express yourself, because you have this thing in the back of your head, like, why am I not showing all of me and all my interests and all that I'm interested in, right? But then you're going to ignore it, because Venus always makes things sweet and auspicious, but it's going to affect you in the long run. Okay, so you always have to keep that in mind, all right? Always got to keep that in mind. The next one is that sorry for the break, y'all. Had to get my sushi, had to eat the sushi. Yum yum. Okay. But like I was saying, this new moon is trine Chiron, which is amazing, because Chiron represents childhood traumas that we've learned from. It's a childhood trauma that we've kind of brought into adulthood, and you have to learn how to like heal it as an adult, because it kind of created habits within us that's stopping us to be in our fullest potential, right? So I can see two versions of this happening, right? With Chiron being in Aries at this moment, a lot of people are revisiting childhood traumas, right? Connected to their personality, their persona, their appearance, excuse me, their body, their motivation, their drive. Like, either people teased them about these things, people held them back from these things, people said things and did things to hold back their true potential, to realize how great they are, how awesome they can be, how motivated and driven they truly are, or just held back their drive and motivation so they don't even know what it is, or help them realize how great their personality is, even though they've been told it wasn't, or how anything that held you back when it comes to anything that I just listed, right? And so at this moment, if you're like a person that's still working through their Chiron, or didn't even realize they have to work through their Chiron, right? You are having this like hot girl summer for this new moon, right? This new moon in Leo. And you are truly being self-expressive, and you are really understanding your identity, expressing your identity, allowing people to appreciate your identity and your talents and your creativity and your romantic self, and all of your self-expression. And that's helping you realize that, hey, all the things that I've learned and heard about growing up, like connected to my personality, persona, appearance, body, motivation and drive, is not true. I'm actually pretty sweet. So it's a good confidence booster with the childhood trauma that you had, right? But another dope thing about that is for the people who are pretty advanced with Chiron and kind of know what their Chiron is, started healing their Chiron situations. This is a great time for you to really flex yourself, really express yourself, really use your talents, and use your identity to get the things that you want, and help people who have similar childhood traumas to you, and help them become a better person as well. So it's beautiful energy. It's a self-realization energy too, because Chiron is currently retrograde, right? And with Chiron being retrograde, we are at the moment not taking actions exactly when it comes to our childhood traumas, but having some self-realizations. So I don't want you guys to actually take that much action when it comes to this energy. I want you guys to just be who you are and express yourself as you are, and like allow people to see you, who you this version of you, and then take in what they're saying about you to help boost you up. You get what I'm saying? So I think that would be excellent for you guys. Lastly, this new moon is trine Jupiter, and Jupiter's retrograde. Jupiter is actually going to be direct pretty soon as well, but it's still retrograde at this moment. And so we're at the last stages of us reflecting on our philosophies, beliefs, different concepts, foreign concepts that we've taken on ourselves and like hold near and dear to us. It's, we are in the last stages of reflecting on our actual higher learning and our interest in it and our luck in general and stuff like that, right? And what's dope about this is that because this energy is trining, we're having we're kind of realizing who we are as people, totally identifying with ourselves. Thus, with us kind of being ourselves unapologetically, we get aligned to the perfect philosophy, belief, concept that fits us. Now, during this Jupiter retrograde, we're reflecting and possibly revising philosophies, beliefs, and concepts and religions that we held near and dear to our hearts to see if it no longer serves us or if it continues to serve us. A lot of people dropped a lot of concepts. Now, some people possibly dropped a whole ass religion, but a lot of people just dropped certain things that they felt like didn't connect with them. And this could be spiritual, this could be logical, scientific, whatever, right? But we can, a lot of people just let go of certain ideas that they felt that was true, because they felt like, now this no longer serves me, this don't make any sense, so I'm just not gonna fuck with this no more, right? The dope thing about it is as we continue to have our hot girl, hot boy summer and express ourselves, being our total identity, and I always say this, with people who had like dating questions, when it comes to dating, like casual dating, you look at the 5th house, then the sun in Leo, right? And I always say that you have to express yourself fully so people know that you're open enough to approach and they can see who you are and see like, hey, yeah, this person, I like their vibe, like I'm gonna fuck with them. You know what I mean? You have to give people that chance, because a lot of times if people have issues with dating or being approached, is usually because that they're closing themselves. So, and it's all happening subconsciously, mind you, and the person subconsciously can feel that you're closing yourself, so they go to the fugly friend who's quite open. Now, excuse my language, I'm not really trying to call people fugly, but I'm trying to let you see, like, if you notice that like certain people get more attention and you're like, well, I have more going for me, it's because you're not open subconsciously, and that's just what it is, like, I can't stress this enough. I experienced this myself. This is real shit, right? And so similar to this energy, if you're on the vibe of just expressing yourself, feeling free to express yourself, not forcing it, just being who you are, being within this Leo moon energy, feeling how you feel and expressing that shit openly, you know what I mean? Then you're gonna go and connect with the right people in the right location and the right event that will put you on to a philosophy, belief, a concept, a higher learning opportunity, some wonderful luck, and it's just gonna pop on to you. The thing is, though, is that because Jupiter is retrograde, we do have to keep in mind that we're still in the sorting out process. We do also have to keep in mind that we have the things that we want in life, we have to manifest from within when it comes to Jupiter retrograde. But the dope thing about that is whatever you want to manifest, it will happen because it's trine energy. It's going to happen almost magically. You have Jupiter and the sun and moon trining each other, y'all. This is wild. Like, this is beautiful magic energy, but the thing is, you have to initiate the magic. You have to manifest it yourself. All right? So definitely keep that in mind, okay? All right. So I'm done for you commoners. Let me stop being an ass. What I'm going to do is continue this podcast for my patron subscribers. I'm going to talk about the fixed stars. I'm also going to talk about, if the new moon is in your in a specific house in your chart, what does that mean to you? I'm getting real specific with my patron subscribers. We're having a dope ass conversation. This is some nice shit. You know what I mean? I'm going to talk about probably 111 a little bit more as well. Get more in depth within this energy because this is my lunar return. So I can speak with great experience, but I can also speak about this all the time because it's my energy. Not necessarily Leo sun, but definitely Leo moon. Okay? With that being said, y'all, I hope that you enjoyed this. Please let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget the voice notes that you can do on Spotify. I would love to hear from you guys. I have a couple of voice notes, guys. Just know that I'm going to be dropping those through and letting you hear them, letting the rest of the audience hear them, okay? All right. Thanks so much, guys. And again, if you're interested in hearing this whole entire podcast, go ahead and support the kid at patreon.com/AstroDim. Subscription starts at $2 a month, y'all. Cheap. And I give you so much. All right. Peace out. Bye.
Yay! The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.